the Humana Basketball Classic 2009. I'm Quincy Alexander. Alongside me is Joe Burchell. We have top 3 team in the country. There is several different rankings, obviously, but Findlay Prep is number 2, number 3. Some of them say number 5, but they're coming up against New Creations, who already at 24-9 on the season, Joe.
That's a lot of basketball games, but they are without a couple of the really, really good players who decided to leave and go off to college at the break. Ramon Nelson is now at Western Illinois, and Eric Beard is at James Madison University. Nelson, 5'8" senior, and of course Beard, big guy inside, 6'8", so they're not with the team. And there's a look at Coach Anthony Cole in the white shirt.
Well, and he talking to Coach Cole before the game, he said, you know, Beard and Nelson both got all their work done that they needed to finish their high school degrees, and went ahead and went on to their respective colleges to start working out and getting ready for the season. So they're a little depleted right now, and they've already played Findlay once this season in a classic over in Michigan and lost 102-79.
Well, we've seen Findlay Prep last couple of years. I've said, you know, of course, just my opinion, I've not seen every team, but Findlay Prep and Oak Hill Academy, either or, likely the best team in the country.
Yeah, and along with St. Benedict's out of New Jersey, one of those 3 would be my top team if I had to pick one. And, you know, we've had Oak Hill quite a bit more than Findlay or St. Benedict's, but you know that Coach Michael Peck and Findlay Prep, they are ready to play. Am I right? They're the Pilots?
Yeah, Pilots.
Findlay
Prep
Pilots. So they are 12-0 on the season.
And New Creations Christian Flyers.
And the Flyers. Number 5, Corey Joseph, 6'3"
So they're both
junior.
up there, the Pilots and the Flyers.
Yeah, up there in the air. There will be some of that here in this game for sure. Number 11, Avery Bradley, the aforementioned signee for Texas, 6'4" senior. He is named as one of the 10 finalists across the country for Player of the Year. They're going to narrow that list next month down to 5. Number 15 is Godwin Okanji, 6'9" junior out of Nigeria. Number 23, Victor Rudd. He's 6'8" senior out of Los Angeles, California, looking at Marquette, Arizona, UNLV. Number 32 is DJ Richardson, a senior at 6'4", going to Illinois.
Don Werner will toss it up. The other officials, Kirk Hudson and Wade Branscombe.
Rudd won the tip. And here we go. Joseph into the corner. Richardson misses from 3. And Avery Bradley comes up with it on the board. And in the corner, Bradley from 3, no good. Follows his shot, though. Into the paint, leaves it. Richardson back to Bradley. Pump fake. And the 3 does go for Victor Rudd.
Rudd picked up four teams out of the Big East Conference tried to sign him or get him to commit this week. He's not yet, but 4 this week. He is averaging almost 15 a game, leads them in rebounds with 9.5. He is having a great year.
Well, he's taking a hard look at Marquette and also Arizona and UNLV. Victor Rudd can play. There's a 3 up and a 3 no good from Warren Niles. He's a 20-plus point per game scorer. He's scored 40 a couple of times this season. 6'4" senior, but Corey Joseph brings it the other way for the Pilots. Corner. Joseph couldn't get it. Big time board. New Creations coming the other way. Flyers out of Richmond, Indiana. Kieri Greenwood, Iowa, and University of Washington are some of the ones on his list. Niles missed, and here come the Pilots again. 3 ball in the corner, no good. Both teams settling for the 3 ball right now.
Bradley shooting 59% from the field, 57% from three-point range, number 11. Of course, there's a nice bucket by
Okanji, and the pass came off the no look. And there's a nice pass inside, but tipped away, and here comes Findlay once again.
Well, they got the numbers, Quincy.
Watch out. Had to tip it back in a little too high. There will be some high flying in this game, as we said a moment ago. Right now, both teams just a little off to start this game. Huff gets on the board.
The Flyers, without Eric Mosby, a 5'9" point guard, the senior, went back to Louisville Moore this past year. Outstanding guard, but he's back in Louisville playing, so they're without him.
You want to talk about experience. This entire New Creation squad, seniors across the board. Avery Bradley, another nice pass inside, and Richardson blocked, and it's a jump ball underneath. Nice play inside by Javier Diaz. There's a good look at Coach Michael Peck. He has put together quite a squad out there in Henderson, Nevada. And they travel to Kentucky quite a bit, and of course, he told me a moment ago, DeAndre Liggins told him he's going to try to stop by before the Cats go up to Louisville.
I had a feeling maybe he might be able to stop by.
Of course.
He's old school.
Yep, his alma mater. Pull-up jump shot, no good. Victor Rudd clears, and Pilots on the move again. Nice crossover by Corey Joseph. Corner, 3-ball. Bradley, no good. Of course, used to play Bellarmine Prep with Abdul Gaddy. Transferred to Findlay. There you see Huff with another bucket.
Huff is really taking it coast to coast.
Well, the last time these two teams played, it was close for a half, Coach Cole told me. And then all of a sudden, Findlay turned it on. And they can do that in spurts. There, look at the big effort by Corey Joseph.
Coming right at us.
Coming high for a moment and took another skip.
Good job there, Quincy.
We're going to protect the monitor. But, you know, talking about this Findlay Prep team out of Henderson, Nevada, and it's getting a little chippy underneath real quick. Watch 5 and 15, the matchup underneath here in a moment. They've been pushing and shoving just a little bit. That is Okanji. No, excuse me, that is Greenwood. And Okanji working back and forth.
Coach Cole, former student, player, and graduate of New Creations back in 1990. Assistant under Coach Andy Bain for a number of years.
Oh, big block. Okanji tossed it. There's Bradley. Very nice in transition. He's going to the line.
That 59% shooting percentage going down some so far.
Well, you're coming all the way across the country and do that to you. But Findlay, no stranger to traveling quite a bit. You know, 12-0 on the season, and most of that has been on the road. Bradley gets a free throw there. You see the coaching staff for New Creations. They've already played 30 games, Joe. I mean, that's a lot of basketball early in the season.
24-9. That's 33, Quincy.
That's a lot.
Take you to school, buddy.
Well, I was just rounding down. Both free throws for Avery Bradley. 7-4 lead for the Pilots, and right to the 10, but a block inside by Rudd.
Yeah, Rudd, his stock has really been going up. He's having a great year.
Niles said, get it out. Or excuse me, Niles tried to get there, and Rudd said, get it out. .356.
By the way, Rudd was the MVP of the Rock Holiday Classic earlier this year.
Of course, Avery Bradley, the MVP of one of the game at Marshall County against Monteverde.
When they were here last year, Lopez was the MVP.
Boy, another great assist by Bradley, dropping it off to Victor Rudd, his 4th point. 9-4, 5-point lead. Humana Classic is brought to you by the University of Kentucky, the Popcorn Station, Whitaker Bank, Raising Cane's, Lexus of Lexington, Wright Greer and Maggard Orthodontics, and the University of Kentucky Healthcare here on Wazoo Sports. This is the 2009 Humana Basketball Classic, bringing you Findlay Prep and New Creations. 9-4 ball game. Flyers trail at the moment. They have the basketball. That's Huff. And now Greenwood. Niles can fill it up. He scored 40 on a couple of occasions already this season, as we said a moment ago.
Very patient.
Inside, left it short, but back up and in by Diaz. So back and forth we go, 2:42 to go. I talked to Coach Cole. I said, you know, normally they're an up-tempo team. I said, what are you going to try to do tonight, Coach? He said, well, we're going to do it football style. The best way to stop a good offense is to not let the quarterback have the football. So he said he's going to try to keep the ball out of the hands of Findlay Prep, and this is a good way to do it. Throw it down in transition.
Trevor Niles. Got a 1-point game.
DJ Richardson.
New Creations want to do something about that loss they had earlier.
Richardson floater doesn't go, and right now Findlay Prep is having a tough time shooting the basketball.
And the Flyers have the lead, Quincy.
Yeah, nice bucket by Diaz. Three ball. 5 for Diaz, and there's Bradley going to go to work. Bradley up top. Tries to split the defense, but no go, and a jump ball.
Possession, Findlay.
Coach Peck, his career at Findlay,
For Findlay Prep,
44-1.
Carlos Lopez.
And that was in the finals last year of the national tournament.
30-second timeout, Joe, and continue your point. You're talking about Coach Peck's record.
Yeah, well, he's 40. He coming in this year. He's 44-1. That's almost 98% winning percentage. Of course,
That's pretty darn good.
With DeAndre Liggins and company, they were 32-1 last year, I think, and they lost their last game of the season in a national tournament. I think up in Philadelphia area, I believe it was. But you know, they've already played in Rhode Island. They've been to Kentucky. This is their second trip to Kentucky. They're going to be coming back to Kentucky January 24th, I believe it is. They've been to Michigan. They're going to be playing in Ohio, Florida, and Texas before the season ends.
I told you they're no stranger to traveling. That's for sure.
The 6 seniors they had last year, of course, Liggins went to Kentucky. They had a player go to Florida State, Cal, UNLV, Cal Fullerton, and New Mexico.
Well, Bradley around the rim so good. Lopez there on the finish. Another tip back by the big man. Lopez, 2 rebounds. But then a turnover as he steps on the baseline. – 10-9 lead for New Creations. They did give a 2 earlier to Javier Diaz, so he has 4 points and not 5, as we thought a moment ago. So make that correction.
Fouls on Carlos Lopez. Carlos Lopez heading for Las Vegas. And of course, the Running Rebs had a big win over Louisville Cardinals earlier this week at Freedom Hall.
Well, Lopez from Lejas, Puerto Rico, or Puerto Rico. Depends on which side of the border you're from. Underneath baseline move, and Lopez there to clean it up. But then the putback is good by Huff. 6 points and a 12-9 lead. New Creations slowed this down, and Coach Cole said they tried to run with the Pilots when they played in Michigan and got blown out 102-79. Bradley was awaiting the pass, didn't come to it. It was picked clean and an easy inside bucket for Niles off the pass from Trevor Niles. Another turnover, Findlay.
As we speak, New Creations a little more fundamentally sound in the first quarter. I think we'll see things line out a little bit different for the Pilots as the game goes.
14-9 lead. We'll be back in a moment on Wazoo Sports. Jamar Huff with 6 points, and everybody else contributing as well. Diaz and Niles.
Finley appears to be kind of overpassing in the paint. And of course, New Creations with those quick hands, got a lot of deflections, led to some easy baskets.
They have played well.
And they're showing patience on offense.
It's exactly what Coach Cole wanted them to do. And of course, they have a lot more experience in this young season than everybody else has a young season. But 24-9 record. Greenwood up top. Now, this is a different basketball team. They've only had 2 practices since losing Ramon Nelson and Eric Beard, the big 6'8" senior. And you know, they don't have him to contend with Lopez, but they're kind of keeping Lopez out of the game in the style they're playing. Finley out-rebounded New Creations 12-7.
A lot of those rebounds were actually beating them to the spot, beating them to the loose ball in the corner.
So the first minute of the quarter is over. No score just yet. Still 14-9. Greenwood back up top.
You have to appreciate the good patience, making Finley Prep really work on D.
Well, and keeping the ball out of their hands offensively. Again, so many athletes for the Pilots. Division I signees and commitments all over the roster. This Richmond, Indiana team. Nice putback again inside.
That's Niles.
Warren Niles, 4 points for him.
They were down, what, 9-4? 12-0 run, maybe?
12-0 run, exactly correct, Joe. Avery Bradley, baseline jump shot. He's got to get going. If he continues to miss mid-range jump shot, Finley could be in trouble.
They may need DeAndre to come into the house.
Run the point a little bit.
No, I mean,
fill it up.
Pep talk maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Richardson comes back in for Finley.
And there he comes. There he is.
Okanji sits
down. There comes
down.
Liggins right there.
DeAndre in the house.
Yep, he just came in.
Coming around behind the New Creations bench, and he will make his way over to Coach Michael Peck, I'm sure. Maybe he'll just go up into the seats, but now he's going to find his way to the Finley sideline.
Good patience and a reach in by DJ Richardson.
Richardson on the foul, of course, and it is 16-9. Quick three-point attempt, no good. Bradley there for the rebound. Javier Diaz tried to dial it in. Nice pass again, and Isaiah Grayson couldn't get it to go out of Tucker, Georgia. Jamar Huff back up top. Here's Greenwood. Underneath, that extra pass probably did more harm than good, and then a turnover. Here comes Richardson, the floater in the lane, can't get it.
They cannot buy a basket.
The lid tight on the basket here at Lexington Christian, the 2009 Humana Basketball Classic. Diaz through the middle, has a cutter, and again, interior passing, the demise early for New Creations. But the floater goes for Jamar Huff, 8 points. 18-9. Doubling up Finley.
And 4:48 to go in the half.
14-0 run. Carlos Lopez got it out to Richardson. Into the corner. Grayson from three.
5'10" senior out of Tucker, Georgia. That broke a 14-0 run. And it's in New Creations' favor to keep this game low. Oh, what hustle by Richardson.
And look at him rise and fouled from behind by Greenwood.
He was going to provide us with a rim rattler.
He was on his way to it, you can be sure. DJ Richardson, Illinois signee, 6'4" senior at the line.
Well, with Liggins into the house now, we'll see how long it takes the Pilots to kick it in gear.
First one goes for DJ.
Richardson averaging 12.5 points a game this year, 54% from the floor. 6'4" senior, heading for Illinois University.
You would think with this much talent on the floor, there wouldn't be enough basketballs in the state of Nevada to provide the scoring that these guys usually get, but somehow Coach Peck does it, makes them share the basketball, does a good job. You come in with scorers like Avery Bradley and DJ Richardson, join Carlos Lopez that was here last year. Good hustle underneath, and somehow New Creations keeps it until Isaiah Grayson intercepted the pass, and then he's fouled on his way to the other side.
Yeah, the defense starting to pick up for Coach Peck's ball club.
And you know he won't let them play lackadaisical. No jet lag for Findlay. It's not allowed. It is a 3-hour time difference coming from Henderson, Nevada, here to Lexington, Kentucky. Richardson from three. A little bit of contact on that jumper, but no call. 4-point game. New Creations lead. Floater in the lane, and Kieri Greenwood gets on the board.
This game is flying by.
Well, not many whistles. Baseline move for Avery Bradley. Fouled on the way so quick.
Raising Cane Chicken Fingers. Their concept simple and unique. One love, providing great tasting chicken fingers. 2 locations in Lexington. Raising Cane's.
Findlay has only scored 5 points in the 5 minutes of this second quarter. Bradley tries to change it, and he does from 3.
Bradley averaging over 20 points a game, over 3.5 steals a contest. He's a 57% shooter from beyond the arc, and that's his first 3.
He's got 5 points in the contest. Behind the back dribble. Greenwood and Javier Diaz in the corner, works on Lopez. Diaz goes to the rim, and he's fouled, but no, they actually call an offensive foul, so nice position by DJ Richardson.
May have had him for clearing out without offhand, perhaps, but he was going to rattle that rim, too.
We've got some high flyers on the floor, and no doubt. 3-point lead for the team from Richmond, Indiana. New Creations Christian. 24-9 on the season. Have already played Findlay once this season. Lopez into Richardson. Spin move, falling down, travel. It's interesting to me, Joe, that Carlos Lopez would be 6'10" and out away from the basket. Wouldn't you want to establish him with no size on the other side to contend with him?
Most would, some would not.
Obviously, not questioning Coach Peck in any way, but I would think that Lopez would do better in the block, especially the fact that there's no Eric Beard at 6'8" to contend with the 6'10" UNLV signee.
Well, you knew Findlay was going to heat up. They've got off to a very cold shooting night, but they're shooting 53.7% from the floor through 12 games.
There you see.
There's DeAndre.
Yep, taking time to watch his former guys play, former teammates. Of course, be taking the floor against the Louisville Cardinals tomorrow. Sunday, yep.
You know, they play DePaul tomorrow. That's playing Saturday, and they turn around and play Kentucky on Sunday. At least I think they play DePaul tomorrow.
2:17 to go in the half. 3-point lead for New Creations Christian. Trevor Niles back to Kieri Greenwood. He's got to work on Avery Bradley, who's not just a scorer. He can play defense as well, and nearly came away with that one, but somehow Greenwood puts it in the basket.
6'2" senior, quite impressive. Went against the best on that one and prevailed.
Man, nice play. Quick pass, Lopez in the corner. And Bradley another 3. Can't let him heat up at all.
Yeah, he's hit 2 in a row.
And turnover New Creations.
Well, I tell you what, Rick Barnes has some kind of recruiting class coming to Texas, doesn't he?
He's got quite a bit, that's true. New Creations actually did keep possession. It was deflected out of bounds, last touch by one of the Pilots. Warren Niles drops it off. Jamar Huff been somewhat silent in this quarter after a hot start to the ball game. Diaz going to work on Richardson. And there's Huff. Warren Niles now, very patient again is this Flyers team out of Richmond, Indiana.
Well, after giving up 102 points to this Findlay team earlier in the year, looks like they're determined not to give up triple digits.
Again, nice defensive pressure by Bradley, and now they're jawing just a little bit, Greenwood and Bradley. Bradley's really very strong, has nice defensive position, good footwork for someone that's really known more for his scoring. As you see him cut him off there and then jump over to the next guy with the ball. Now they go inside. Warren Niles blocked by Lopez from behind. You can hear Coach Cole saying, corner, watch for Bradley. And there he goes underneath baseline.
He scored 8 straight now for the Pilots, and they've tied it up with 29 seconds.
Huff back up top, Trevor Niles. 18 seconds. 5-second count is on. It should have been called, but does not happen. Richardson wanted it. The floater goes, but it's an offensive foul on Diaz. Coach Cole is absolutely beside himself.
Well, take the bucket away. That's 2 offensive fouls. Coach called on Diaz, and that wipes away a bucket.
Coach Anthony Cole still talking to the official. Great job by Grayson to let that one come into front court without touching it. Now Bradley's going to get a clean look, but he's blocked, gets it back, and up and in.
And there's the horn.
Warren Niles blocked the 3 by Bradley, got it back and hit it. 10 points in the quarter by Bradley and a lead for Findlay Prep.
The last 10 points of the game for Findlay Prep by Mr. Avery Bradley, who comes in averaging over 20 a game, 59% shooter from the floor. And if he heats up, it's going to be a rough night for New Creations.
Yeah, New Creations played a great first half, but it's a 2-point lead for the Pilots of Findlay Prep out of Henderson, Nevada. Stick around. We've got second half coming up here on Wazoo Sports. There you see Coach Cole ready to talk to his players. New Creation, they had a lead and let it go away as Avery Bradley scored the last 10 points for Findlay and got him right back into it. Joe Burchell, what do you think about that first half?
Well, I think Findlay Prep maybe got a little too fast-paced and maybe took a few quick shots, was ice cold for a while. You got to give New Creations credit for being very patient offensively and running down a lot of loose balls in the first maybe, 12 minutes of the first 16, and then, boom, Avery Bradley woke up, scored the last 10 points of the game for the Pilots.
Finished with 12 in the first half,
right.
And Findlay Prep only shot 33% to New Creations 50% from the field, but still a 2-point lead for the Pilots of Findlay Prep.
If you ask me what I think is going to happen in the second half, I think Avery Bradley is going to continue on that streak.
Well, he was a little upset with himself after he missed a couple of jumpers early, and he can fill it up in a hurry. As we said, 10 points in that quarter, and the last 10 points by Findlay Prep. The only other person to score in that quarter was DJ Richardson from the free throw line.
In the end zone, I think we have an assistant coach at Ohio State here to watch this ball game, wearing a black sweater.
In front of us, Victor Rudd inbounds to Corey Joseph. Here we go, Findlay Prep with the basketball.
Joseph
Richardson
joined the team prior to the season. He's from Pickering, Ontario, Canada.
Bradley from three, got it.
What did we say? He's going to pick up where he left off.
27-22, the last 13 points come from Bradley.
When he's on, he can fill it up all night long.
He has an absolutely pure shot. Squares to the basket, sets his feet, and well, you give him any kind of daylight, and he will fill it up. Greenwood. Now Trevor Niles back up top to Jamar Huff. That's Javier Diaz back over to the corner to Greenwood. And they're going to give it Godwin Okanji the foul from Nigeria. 2 points for Okanji, the 6'9" junior. Bradley again, great defensively, trying to pull that ball away. Warren Niles held on to it, and the jump ball goes back to the Flyers.
Don't you see Findlay Prep got a little more hop in their step in this half?
Oh, they heard about it, I guarantee. Coach Peck said, gentlemen, let's go ahead and try to put this away because we've got another ball game here tomorrow. They will play Mount Zion Academy, and for those of you that have heard that before, that's because that's where Tracy McGrady jumped from high school to the NBA before that rule was in place.
Kyle Lawson was there a year or two before he went to Oak Hill.
And they had a long list of Division I prospects, but we'll see who all shows up. There's been some changes to that roster that we'll have to update you on tomorrow.
Yeah, they're not quite as strong as far as big names is concerned. I'm sure they're very good.
Nice play. Lopez couldn't get to it on the block, and Diaz gets his 6th point.
Did not expect this sort of low-scoring game, but you got to give New Creations Christians credit. It's about the only way they stay in the ball game, and then it may not be enough.
Jumper doesn't go for Rudd. He has it again off of the offensive board. Lopez going to work, and an offensive foul. And Coach Peck trying to get an explanation from the official on that one.
And not going to get a return answer.
That's a tough call. It looked like a
At
clean
best,
play.
it might have been steps, maybe.
Looked clean. Greenwood gonna go to the rack on the floater, doesn't get it. Ball batted around, and Greenwood quickly.
Well, they are quick, no question about it, but he stepped on the sideline.
Stepped on the sideline, and we're going the other way off the turnover. Coach Cole up out of his chair. Corey Joseph to DJ Richardson. Back now, Joseph into the corner to Rudd. Rudd going baseline and a finish at the rim.
6'8" senior from Los Angeles, California.
First person to score in a while for Findlay that isn't named Avery Bradley.
Colleges are drooling over Rudd right now, Quincy.
As you said, a 6'8" senior. He's from Los Angeles, California. UNLV, Arizona, Marquette on his list.
Leads this team in rebounding, second in scoring, and they're ranked, what, 1, 2, or 3 in the country, depending on which poll. He's a hot commodity.
Except for the one that Coach Michael Peck pointed out to me. He said Max Preps has us at number 33. And there you see a 3-ball by Richardson. And, you know, Coach Peck said, well, it's kind of like the BCS, so we don't pay attention to that when they use some formula that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. How you can be number 2 in one poll and 33 in another is beyond me.
I'm going to withhold comment.
There's Kiri Greenwood.
Well, they've opened up a 8-point lead and look to New Creations in danger of seeing this lead get out of hand. They're They hung in there for a half like they did the first game.
Well, and that's true, and you'll see Findlay try to establish themselves. There's Lopez underneath, open and finishing.
Give the assist to Joseph on a nice pass from top of the key.
10-point lead, largest of the game for either team.
Yeah, we'll look at the defense by Bradley.
He's known as a scorer, but he can play very good defense. Hop, step into the lane, and he's fouled. Jamar Huff should be seeing some time at the charity stripe. Looks like Corey Joseph tagged for the foul. Team fourth of the half.
UK Healthcare is celebrating having 102 doctors named to the Best Doctors Incorporated list, and a nursing staff once again named as National Magnet by the American Nurses Credentialing Center. UK Healthcare, proud sponsor of Wazoo sports programming. I think Bradley must have got a toe on the line, going the other way.
It was a 1 of 2 trip for Huff. Again, look at the strength of Bradley. Just a little bump, and Greenwood has to regain his footing. Greenwood's pretty quick, though. There's Javier Diaz back up top, and now they'll be patient again. There's Trevor Niles. Almost poked away by Richardson. Floater in the lane, Warren Niles.
Niles had a big night.
6 points for the 6'4" senior. Warren Niles is one of those guys that can fill it up on occasion. 20-plus points per game this year. Scored 40 several times.
Our officials for tonight's game, Don Warner, Kirk Hudson, and Wade Branscombe.
They haven't had to blow the whistle too many times.
They've stayed pace pretty good.
I asked them before the game, said, you guys get your stretches in? They said, yeah, we know this one's going to be up and down. So they've done a good job. And actually, New Creations has really slowed the pace of this game down. And in the half court, they've had some spurts. So the jump shot there doesn't go, but the rebound comes down to Warren Niles. He can't finish. And Victor Rudd comes away.
Had a good look. He just couldn't get it to go.
Avery Bradley. Underneath. Back out top. Richardson. Tried to find Lopez with the extra pass. Niles. Nice. But couldn't get it to go because of the defense of Bradley. And the scoring is slowed down, but it's because that guy hadn't had the ball in a while. He misses that one, though. Here's Rudd with a board. And a nice finish. But let's see what the call is. I think he's going to the line. Count the bucket. Pair of buckets in the third quarter, giving him 8 points on the game. Free throw could put it back to a 10-point lead. Does not. So 36-27, checking in. Lawrence Danner, 6'5" senior. At least he is listed at 6'5".
Quincy, were you a great free throw shooter in your day?
At times. Wasn't all the time, but
what about clutch?
I could say I was a clutch free throw shooter, but I'm a little biased. You have to ask coaches of mine back in the day. But the art of the free throw is not quite as honed as it was then. So Coach Peck looking on. Offensive board. Lopez couldn't block it, but he fouled.
I tell you what,
Lawrence Danner.
These defenders for Findlay, Lopez and Rudd and such, they're just forcing New Creations to try to kiss it up a little higher off the glass than they're used to, and it's coming off the front of the rim. Certainly being intimidated a little bit, or at least affected on the shot.
Yeah, their shots do get changed up just a bit.
I don't think they came in intimidated. I'll take that back.
This is the 2009 Humana Basketball Classic from Lexington Christian High School. Lawrence Danner, it's the first free throw to go. He's got one more coming.
Big thanks to Brad Walls, athletic director here at Lexington Christian Academy. Also Brad Carter for their hospitality. Helping make things very hospitable for us here at Wazoo Sports.
Danner gets both, 36-29 the lead For Findlay Prep, Carlos Lopez to Bradley. Cross court, Rudd. Blocked partially, gets his own. Back up and in, and he's going to the line. Greenwood picks up his third. Rudd has 6 points in the quarter, a chance to add to it here. Findlay Prep now just keeping New Creations just at arm's length. Rudd misses the free throw. Quick outlet for New Creations, and see, that's the style of play they're used to. They're trying to change it up against Findlay because they don't want to get out and run with the thoroughbreds that this team has.
Good hustle. Great hustle.
So not only have they only practiced twice without Ramon Nelson and Eric Beard since the break, but they're also trying to play a whole different style of basketball here in Lexington, Kentucky.
I've really never heard of two kids going off to college at break.
Well, they're done with their schoolwork and went on.
Yeah, I know. Well,
they said, I don't.
Well put.
We're done with it. There's a turnover by the Pilots. Jamar Huff kicks it out. The three, Danner can't get it. Carlos Lopez clears. Out to Rudd. Crossover dribble into the lane, off the glass, no good. Bradley tried to pull away another board, can't get it. Here comes New Creations, Greenwood. Gonna work on Joseph, but kick it inside. Spin move, fade away, doesn't go. Tip back, no good.
Another rebound by Rudd.
And Warren Niles had several looks that time. We're approaching a minute 45 to go. 38-29, Findlay on top. Lopez extra steps and going the other way.
1, 2, 3, cha-cha-cha.
Got to get one of those a game, and that one came from Carlos Lopez. So, Joe, you know, you've seen Findlay at the Hoop Fest. You had them against Monteverde Academy. What do you think about this team's progression from that game to now?
I just think they maybe played to their competition. I mean, I think they felt like coming in they were going to win the game. They'd beaten them by 23 earlier. But when they want to, they can play the defense. I mean, Bradley and Richardson are two of the best in the country,
absolutely.
probably at stopping. They don't show a lot of patience. I mean, they like to get it and go, create one-on-one. They're not going to pass it around for 25, 30 seconds, you know. And when they're shooting well, they're tough to beat. If they're not shooting well and somebody can rebound with them, they'll be tested.
You know, this is an opportunity here for Kieri Greenwood to really put himself on the map a little more. I know Iowa and University of Washington are looking at him, but he's playing against some of the best guards in the country here and only has 4 tonight.
At the Laurel County Bill Catley Hoop Fest, when they play New American, New American's got a 7'5" youngster.
Oh, my goodness.
That'll be interesting to see Findlay Prep go up against
we'll see what
that
the
caliber of young man.
Future running Rebel will do against a 7'5" opponent. Of course, that's Carlos Lopez at 6'10", number 21 down there for Findlay. There's Bradley with the pull-up jumper, doesn't go. And Diaz clears, and here comes Greenwood. Look at him quickly into the lane and kicks it to Diaz into the corner now. 3 ball is up, and it is very good. Trevor Niles. 5 for him.
They're within 6 with 32 seconds left, third quarter.
They're hanging around, and Findlay has yet to truly distance themselves.
We have yet to see Richardson actually try any kind of offense, really, have we? And we know he can flat-out play.
Well, Corey Joseph said, I'll stick a 3 ball in and make it a 9-point ball game again. And then a quick take by Greenwood.
Got 7 seconds.
Final shot of the quarter, doesn't go. And 3 are in the books. The 4th stanza coming up here on Wazoo Sports. Your game is always on. There you see DeAndre Liggins looking on his former team, the Findlay Prep Pilots out of Henderson, Nevada, up 41-34 over New Creations Christian. The Flyers out of Richmond, Indiana. And Joe, you know, Richmond, Indiana, they're hanging around.
They've played very, very hard. I think the second half they've not been able to get a lot of loose balls and rebound like they wanted to, and Findlay Prep has had their way inside. But the other hanging tough. They got a nice ball club. They certainly do miss Nelson and Beard for sure.
Well, Jamar Huff leads them in scoring with 9. Nobody for New Creations in double figures.
Actually, New Creations might be just a hair quicker than Findlay Prep, just not as strong physically.
Lopez got away with one on the bucket.
We've seen that charge call all night long in the girls' game earlier, and that time, nothing called.
Lopez has 4. There you see the quick miss. Coming the other way in a hurry, no good. Richardson almost tipped it back in, but Joseph ended up with it. Bradley from the corner for 3. Can't get it. And there's Joseph on the putback.
Averages 9.8 points a game.
Floater Greenwood, no good. Lopez keeps it high, pulls down the board.
The Popcorn Station offers over 31 flavors of gourmet popcorn, a flavor for about every taste bud there is on the planet. Chocolate-covered caramel, peanut butter cup, white cheddar, dill pickle, kettle corn, just to name a few. Their tins are absolutely beautiful, make a great gift. Online, you can go to www.thepopcornstation.com and place your order. Birthdays, whatever the case may be. Or Richardson, you just want to eat some really good popcorn.
Yeah, that's true. Here comes the board. Nice floater in the lane. He's done that a couple of times tonight. Warren Niles. .626 to play. Low-scoring affair, 45-36. Of course, the last time these two teams met, it was 102-79, and Coach Cole said that was because they tried to get out and run with Findlay and couldn't keep up.
Yep. We'll have Findlay again tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Or 7:30, or I guess 6:31.
Whenever the first one's over.
Yeah, after the first game.
Floater goes off the glass, make it 10 points for Warren Niles.
Myself.
We'll have the Lexington Christian Academy girls to kick things off again tomorrow night against Bearden out of Knoxville, Tennessee. And then it'll be Findlay Prep and Mount Zion out of North Carolina. And then to close it out, Lexington Christian boys take on Scott County.
I think the best game of the day is coming up. Montgomery County Indians and the Lexington Christian Academy Eagles coming up after this one. I think that's going to be a really good game.
Well, Corey Joseph going to bring it across for Findlay after the inbound. They had to throw it in the backcourt because of the pressure from the Flyers. Here's Joseph inside to Lopez looking for a cutter, going to turn. Now a spin move is caught and fouled. Again, Carlos Lopez signed to go play for the Running Rebels of UNLV out of Lajas, Puerto Rico. Findlay will keep possession, Joe. It's 5:31 to go, 45-38.
Do you remember Richardson, number 32, taking over maybe, what, 1 or 2 shots tops?
Just a couple. He's got 5 points, and 2 of those came from the free throw line.
But he's a really gifted athlete, but certainly not looking to score today.
He's taken 5 shots, Joe.
Okay. That's about 3 more than I thought he'd take.
Most of that came in the first couple of minutes, though. And Lopez travels on his way to the bucket.
A bucket here, and New Creations is right back in this baby.
And as quick as they can get the ball up the floor, as you see Victor Rudd come back into the game. 11 points, 9 rebounds thus far for Rudd. And here comes the pressure from the Pilots. Just man-to-man full court. Victor Rudd, 6'8", guarding the 6'2", Kieri Greenwood up at the top. Excuse me, that's Richardson up top. Rudd went down low. I apologize for that mix-up. Turnaround doesn't go, but the board comes away to Danner. 3 ball is up, doesn't go. Put back, nope. That's Rudd with a board.
Yeah, another rebound by Victor.
Double-double for the senior out of Los Angeles, California. Foul on the open floor is going to be on Jamar Huff.
New Creations does not have that real big pivot that can take up a lot of room inside. If they did, I think they'd be tremendously talented team.
And that helps a lot with slowing the game down against a team like Findlay to try to pound it inside, and they can't do that. Here's Bradley, pull-up jumper. Too much space, can't give it to him like that.
Does he have a nice shot or what?
It is absolutely fluid.
When he goes up, you think he's going to make it every time. And he got the block.
And doesn't come away with a loose ball, and the floater is left short by Huff. 17 for Bradley. There's Rudd, and the foul. 13 points, 10 rebounds for Victor Rudd, and he's going to the line.
He's had a big game, and I can see why there's a big fuss over Victor Rudd here in the last few weeks around the country. His stock is rising when the stock market is not.
That's true. And, you know, Rudd there completes a three-point play, gives himself 14 points, and gives his team a 12-point lead. He's playing a heck of a ball game, and there he gets a block. Oh, excuse me, that's Richardson. I keep getting the two mixed up. This little dyslexia for me, because Richardson wears 32 and Rudd wears 23.
Now, Richardson, you know, my impression of him is he's on the next level. He's a solid ball handler, good passer, but he's going to be a defensive stopper. I mean, he loves to get up there and play the D.
And he doesn't force anything.
Yeah, and he's not, I mean, if he scores, fine, but he just wants to go out there and compete. Whatever the coach tells him to do, he'll do, and he's a tremendous athlete. He's going to be a really great defender in the Big Ten next year for the Fighting Illini.
Greenwood
Bruce Weber's getting a good one there.
Greenwood gets a pair, brings it back to a 10-point lead for Findlay. Turnaround move inside, no good for Rudd, but he's fouled, and Jamar Huff can't believe it.
How good would Findlay Prep be? Clarence Trent was on this team last year, and of course he's
going to Washington.
Yeah, he's going to Washington, but he's now with another team this year.
He had to move on from the Findlay family. I was talking a little bit to Coach Peck about that. It wasn't anything that either party wanted to happen, just a situation where he needed to move on, and he did. First one goes for Rudd.
51-40, 3:26 left.
52-40. After a pair of free throws by Rudd. Now 3 for 5 from the charity stripe. Nearly poked away, coming our way, under the table. Yep.
Good job, Quince.
Had to get involved in the action.
You had good rotation when you handed it to the official.
I might still have a little touch on the basketball. Can't play with these guys for sure. That's all right. Rudd gonna go to work. Couldn't get it. The rebound comes down to Greenwood. And here come the Flyers. If they're gonna make a move, they've got to cut this thing down. Fouled in the open floor.
I'll tell you what, Greenwood and Niles have really impressed me for Coach Anthony Cole's ball club. I mean, they got a lot of good athletes, but there's two in particular. And they are all seniors.
Yeah, it's amazing to look down the roster, and every single player is a senior. I already lost 2 of those to the college game at the break. Greenwood, first free throw goes. Got them both. 10-point game again. Greenwood with 10. Here comes Corey Joseph out of Ontario, Canada. Bradley so quick around the horn. Crossover dribble, rising and firing, no good. Rudd tried to keep it alive. Here comes Danner, pull up from 3, can't get it. Bodies flying, and board comes down to Warren Niles. Poked away twice, somehow.
They got the numbers.
Grayson to Rudd, up and under.
What a play by Victor Rudd.
2:18 to go, another 12-point lead for Findlay.
Victor might be pushing for MVP here.
Warren Niles puts in another bucket. Back and forth we go. Rudd turns, got it. What a floater, 20 for Victor Rudd. Pull up for Greenwood doesn't go. Rudd clears another board, making 11 on the day. And now Corey Joseph content to slow it down, Joe.
Rudd's going to get a few more phone calls after this weekend.
I'll tell you, he is a baller, and he has taken it on his shoulders to continue to keep this lead out of reach for New Creations. Richardson finally took action into his own hands, but to no avail. Here comes Greenwood, and timeout, Coach Cole.
Back in a moment on Wazoo Sports. There's a look at Kerry Greenwood for the Flyers. 56 locations, 80 ATMs, one great state. Whitaker Bank has been serving the needs of Kentuckians for over 137 years. Come experience why Whitaker Bank truly is uniquely Kentucky.
12-point lead for Findlay Prep. If New Creations is going to make a move, it's got to happen now. Pull up, jump shot from 3, goes for Warren Niles. And Warren gets it right back. The floater is up and good. 5 straight points out of the timeout.
And with 52 seconds left, they've trimmed her down to 7, Quincy.
And what a play. My goodness, Warren Niles. 30-second timeout, Joe.
The Humana Holiday Classic brought to you in part by the University of Kentucky, the Popcorn Station, Whitaker Bank, Raising Cane's, Lexus of Lexington, White, Greer, and Maggard Orthodontics, and the University of Kentucky Healthcare. I'll tell you what, Coach Cole certainly has a group of young men that will play very, very hard for him, that's for sure. Of course, Coach Cole's a former player and student at, I think he graduated in 1990.
Well, Greenwood now has 10. Warren Niles with 17. Of course, on the other side, Avery Bradley with 17, and then 20 for Victor Rudd. Okanji's been in foul trouble for Findlay Prep. Willie Hankins had checked in for a moment, but went back to the bench.
By the way, Hankins is considering San Jose State, at least they're after him.
Among others.
Yeah.
And here comes Corey Joseph. Needs to be a sense of urgency defensively for New Creations, and there you see the foul. Both teams in the bonus with 44 seconds, and it being within reach. This could be a very long 44 seconds.
Well, that's about the only hope that New Creations would have, was to put something on the line and hope they throw up a couple of clankers and go down quickly and score. Stranger things have happened. Look like we're looking for
5. It was 5 fouls, and
oh yeah, I thought they was looking for a contact lens.
Nope. Trevor Niles is going to sit down, and Javier Diaz coming right back into the ball game. Corey Joseph has free throws, 1 in the bonus if he makes the first. Does not, misses the front end. Last touch by the Pilots. So
What would a 3 do here?
I was going to say it's going to, there's going to be some hope, but if there's a 3, that's confidence.
Yes.
Is what that does. So that's going to bring Isaiah Grayson up to contend. He's going to wait till they come to half court, though. And that's Greenwood going to go right to the spin move in the paint. Couldn't finish.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, is he quick? He had a point-blank look at it and maybe a little more out of control and couldn't go, but
3 up, no good. And the board comes down to Richardson and a quick foul. So Danner couldn't get it to go from 3 land.
Fouls on number 10.
Foul is on Milan Kostov,
Team 10.
6'3" senior. First action of the night. Comes in and fouls quickly to try to save some time.
Richardson, go ahead.
This Humana Classic is brought to you by the University of Kentucky, the Popcorn Station, Whitaker Bank, Raising Cane's, Lexus of Lexington, White Rear and Maggot Orthodontics, and the University of Kentucky Healthcare.
I was about to say that Richardson is right about a 65% free throw shooter.
And he gets 1 of 2. .30 seconds. Greenwood into the paint. And he couldn't get it. Tapped out by Richardson. 3 doesn't go. Another offensive rebound. Inside, Greenwood is blocked. Puts it back up and in.
Tell you what, Greenwood's a kid that I think will be getting a lot of phone calls if he's not already. This kid is lightning quick. Absolutely quick.
Well, Findlay, took that lead. Coming in through the third quarter, they took the 2-point lead at halftime and extended that and has kept them at arm's length. And then all of a sudden, New Creations fighting back. And it's a 6-point game with 13 seconds left. 57-51. Findlay Prep getting a talking to by their coach, Michael Peck. As you said, only 1 loss for the young coach.
In his career
at Findlay.
Yeah. And that was the last game of the year last season when they were vying for the national championship.
There were several teams vying for that, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, St. Benedict's was one of the ones in the running for that as well. There were about 3 or 4 teams that were close. Whereas Oak Hill had a horrid season, losing 5 games. I mean, my goodness. We've had Oak Hill Academy a couple times on here on Wazoo Sports, and they're having a fantastic season. Just won the Ilani Classic, and we'll have them again at the Marshall County Hoop Fest, or excuse me, the Laurel County Hoop Fest, the Bill Kitely Hoop Fest down there. And
I think, of course, I've not seen every team, but be hard pressed to find a team better than Oak Hill.
Yeah, they're pretty good, pretty good. Coach Steve Smith has built quite a program there over the last 24, 25 years. 7 national championships, and of course,
I can think of a handful of teams I'd like to watch them play.
This is one of them right here in the white jerseys. Yeah. I'd love to see that matchup. Of course, that would be a matchup of pretty much 1 and 2 in my mind. In my top 3, and in this order, I would say Oak Hill, Findlay, St. Benedict's, and then I would put Mater Dei at 4. But that's just me.
Well, at the Bill Kitely Laurel County Hoop Fest, you'll have Oak Hill Academy, Findlay Prep, and Christ School out of North Carolina, number 9 in the country. So 3 of the top 10 teams.
Warren Niles couldn't get it. The put back by Greenwood.
And that'll do it. It's been a great game.
Show points.
Rudd wanted to put an exclamation point on it. Didn't count. But
doesn't count. He finishes with 20. 59-53, your final score, Joe. And if you have to name a player of the game, I'd say Victor Rudd, 20 points, 11 boards.
I think you got to go with Vic.
And Greenwood had 14 points. And Joe, we all expected a high-scoring, high-flying affair here in Lexington, Kentucky between these two teams, but they settled in strategic basketball by New Creation to try to offset all the athletes for Findlay Prep, and I think they did a good job.
I think Coach Cole's team came in with a game plan because they'd seen Findlay Prep earlier this year. They lost 102-79. They come up a little short, but played very, very well. And I think we're looking forward to seeing Findlay Prep play again tomorrow night against Mount Zion Academy out of North Carolina.
So your final, as you see Coach Peck looking over the statistics and no doubt going to talk to his team a little bit. And there you see DeAndre Liggins saying hey to his former coaches. 59-53 your final. Stick around. We've got the Lexington Christian boys versus Montgomery County here in just about 10-15 minutes on Wazoo Sports.